Welcome back to the paddock, everyone. I'm sensing kind of a vicious cycle here. We keep talking to Jason Bartlett, and he keeps winning races. See, this is the price you pay for being our leading driver. Well, toward that end, since it's probably the last time you and I will chat for the French this season, congratulations on another successful season.
Thank you, Frank. Yeah, it's been good, really good. The trainers and owners have been really good to me, giving me the opportunities. So.
Your thoughts in general, I know we've had this conversation before, I'll get a bit specific in just a second. The mile and a quarter races, I know it certainly allows us into a new marketplace with our friends overseas, but you find there are certain horses who much prefer it and certain horses who, after the mile, turn around and say, this ain't happening?
Yeah, sometimes they say that during the mile. You can see the difference, especially the horses. The younger ones have never done it before, and then you get the older claimers that that extra quarter of a mile really. It really gets to them a little bit. So, you can see some of the horses that really affect them, and then you got to drive them accordingly. Can't use them too much early, or whatever the case may be there. But
let's a quick run through Tuesday. One you're driving, I believe, for the first time for Gilbert Garcia Herrera, post 7 Flacco. Know anything about him at all?
No, I just raced against him, a bunch of times, but looks like 7-hole there, 12-horse field. Doesn't show a lot of early speed on a half-mile track, so it looks like a tough spot.
Okay. This is always the fun part. Come on, race number 8. On the gate with a horse coming off a scratch line from post position 5.
Yeah, this is a really good horse. He's been pretty sharp, before he had a scratch sick line. But nice horse. Been winning pretty handily his last 2 starts, so I'd expect him to be pretty good.
I'd asked Jordan Stratton the same question earlier. You drive so many. When you see one that's coming off a scratch for whatever reason, does that influence how you may drive him or her in a given race?
No, because I would imagine, if they're entered to go, they're ready to go if they've been scratch sick, so I would assume that they're back healthy, trained up, and ready to go.
Okay. All right, let's again move it along to race number 9. Where are we? I think we're in the back. I think we're in the back of the bus. Back of the bus. But you know what? I've misplaced race number 9's back page, so we're going to go to race number 10 and do a disjointed one here. Short skirts and high heels. Almost last on the lead a week ago. Tell me about her.
Yeah, I got really hot behind the gate. I don't know if I may shut her air off a little bit. After that, she raced okay. I was expecting a little bit better. I thought she'd win the race off the fractions that we had going, but kind of disappointing last week. Raced really good the week before, so with the trip, should probably be a little better. Post
position 7. Does that kind of force your hand to get her out of the gate a bit?
It forces my hand to get out of there, but there's a little bit of speed inside of us too, so we're gonna have to play that one by ear.
All right, let's move it along to race number 11, and as luck would have it, your commodity wins to draw another young lady in trading places.
Yeah, she's been okay lately. She's been trotting home pretty well. Not a bad spot, rail. A little tough to get out of there. She likes kind of the middle of the road to get out of there, but doesn't look like a terrible group. She looks like she's competitive in here.
Talk to me about the inside at the mile and a quarter versus the inside the flat mile. How does it affect how fast you may or may not want to leave out of there, knowing that the added distance you may get a few souls that wouldn't ordinarily leave the gate at the flat mile may take shots leaving for position at the mile and a quarter?
Yeah, the regular mile races that, we can keep the 1, 2, 3s off the gate a little bit and kind of time our way in there so we're kind of in stride before the gate releases. But here we kind of got to be up close because there's horses behind us. We can't affect them. So, you're kind of stuck on the gate. You're kind of going slower than the outside horses are. Then you got to, be quicker to get out of there. So, it affects the horses inside if they're not real quick-footed.
Trading places, race number 10 now. 11, excuse me. Do we have time to find the one in race number 9, he says? Or we're just going to leave this one of the great mysteries of life? You know what? We're going to leave this one of the great mysteries of life, I believe. Sir, happy holidays to you and yours.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Once again, the hand-eye coordination doing its job. We're coming back.